Hi everyone, a very good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to Spotlight with Suman. I am going to be in conversation with a very interesting image consultant and a soft skills trainer. Her name is Nidhi Shah. She's from Ahmedabad. This is a platform where we showcase different image consultants from all over the country, and they have been certified by ICBI. So I'm waiting for Nidhi's request. Once she sends in her request, we will start our conversation. So we have a few people from the image fraternity who have already joined in. We'll just wait for Nidhi. Hi Yogita. Hi Jeristine. Hi Hina. Nidhi, we are waiting for your request. Hi Nidhi.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing?
Good, very good. Thank you.
Great to see you here on this platform.
Same here, ma'am. It's such a delight to be here.
I think on when we talk about face-to-face conversation, I think sometime almost about 10 years ago when we had interacted with each other physically, that was the time, and just a couple of days back when we were doing our review call. Otherwise, we haven't seen each other face-to-face, right?
Not really. I think once or twice I came to Mumbai and then we just had a fleeting conversation because there were trainings going on. Other than that, not really.
Right. Right. So how have you been?
Very good. Evolving each day.
Superb. And that's the spirit that one must maintain even during these pandemic days, right?
Right. So true.
So tell me something. How did you actually decide to become an image consultant? What was the thought behind it?
So, well, I would be very honest. It was not my thought actually at all. So before joining Image Consulting Business Institute, I was with one of the biggest pharma companies of India, and I was doing quite well. I was there since 3 years and I was into the training department. So it is there where I realized that I am somebody who loves to train. So I did not know before doing that job that training was my passion. So fortunately, I got this job and I got into training and I got to know that this is my calling. It so just happened that in 2009, I got engaged and my job was like 9 to 6. And if I wanted to grow in that job, if I wanted to climb that corporate ladder, I very well knew that I have to travel a lot. I had to do a lot of field work. So while I got engaged, I was talking to my fiance and we were just discussing, and he said that, are you sure you want to continue with a job where you'll be working 6 days a week and you'll be starting your day at 9 and maybe ending a day by 8? You know how it works in India, right? So I was a little skeptical, and we started to, see few options wherein I can work part-time or do something. And that is where I think the law of attraction works many a times, right? And in the newspapers, we saw these advertisements, and I remember it was at Fortune Landmark Hotel in Ahmedabad, and I and my husband just dropped in, and we heard about this concept. It was really nice. I really liked it, but I did not say anything to my husband. And he said that, Nidhi, why don't you do this? And I was like, I have been doing job. I don't know about this concept, if it will work in Ahmedabad. I was sure it will work in metro cities. And plus, being an entrepreneur was not my cup of tea then. So I gave all the reasons to him that this is maybe not the best choice. But he said that nonetheless, you learn something. Let's just take chance, and why not do it? So I was okay. And while I was doing my job, I joined ICBI and I did my trainings on weekends.
Okay.
So it was his faith.
I was coming for trainings, right? I was training.
Yes. And we did not have a center at that time. We did it in different hotels, and it was one learning every weekend that I used to look forward to. And if you remember, I was the youngest in the lot, and I was just literally intimidated by everyone around. So everything was so new to me. In fact, this was a gamble for me. I think this was the biggest gamble that I took so far in my life. And now I can say proudly that, yes, it was the right decision at the right time. And the credit goes to my husband for sure. If he did not put faith in me at that time, I don't think I would be here. I would be in some pharma company, moving around different cities, talking to doctors and selling products. So I think that was my future that I was feeling would be, but things just changed. And then there was no looking back.
And I think that in most situations, when women or even men sometimes, they feel that they are stuck and they want to have some sort of a break from their 9-to-5 rut. I mean, this becomes the most lucrative and the ideal option, for them.
True, so true. And I was very sure, ma'am. I was very sure that after my marriage, I have to give good time to my family. I am a very family oriented person. So I was very clear in my head that I am not going to work 18 hours in a day for sure. I really want my own time. I need time with my family. I need time with my spouse. I need some time with my friends. I am a firm believer of having balance in life. So nothing too much, nothing too less, but it has to be just optimum for me. That is how I operate. And I think because everything was so clear, it just happened.
So how does image consulting satisfy all those needs, taking care of, the balanced life that you're looking forward to, and the kind of life that you're living? So how does image consulting fit into that kind of a space, according to you?
For me, ma'am, with the skills that I have and the interest that I have, I think it is doing the right justice to me. To be very, very honest, it was not that easy. There was lack of balance when I initiated actually being full out and, looking for business. And I have worked for more number of hours because, as I told you, I had no experience of being an entrepreneur. There was never ever this thought that I will start something of my own, even in the near future. Never ever. So it was quite tough for me to understand what it is to be an entrepreneur. So during the initial years, definitely it was a lot of work. And because I did not start a family then, it was easier for me to still give more time to my business, understand my own subject, and then share it with others and create touch points. So back then, it was a lot of work. Yes. Because it was new to me, it was new to the city. And as I told you, it was new as, taking up being an entrepreneur. So, but I'm so glad that I put those hours which I had in the initial years of my work, that now it's the benefits are, I can see the benefits. So because I have built a base, I have done the right thing at the right time. Now I can very proudly say that I can balance my time a lot. So I know now that what clients I can select, what projects I can take, what are the ones that I would not wish to do, but then I make sure that I pass it on to my fellow consultants. So that way I am now at a stage, I can say, wherein I have almost tried like one-to-ones, different industries, corporate trainings, educational institutes. So now I think according to my needs and according to different phases in my life, I can choose my work. And because I can choose my work, I can choose my clients, I find that right balance with my family, friends, with my spirituality, with my health, everything.
Fantastic. So you're living a holistic, wholesome life, right?
Right.
Absolutely perfect. So tell me, you are from Ahmedabad, and when we actually started ICBI trainings in Ahmedabad and you got certified, what are the challenges that you faced during that time? Because, of course, I mean, ICBI and the concept of image consulting was new at that point of time. So how easy or difficult was it for you to start something over there in Ahmedabad city? Of course, you moved out of Ahmedabad after some time. But what was the situation in the initial stage at that point of time?
So, ma'am, to be very honest, because the subject was new to me also, like I was amongst the first batches of Ahmedabad. So the concept, first of all, was very new to me. Plus, it was very new to the city also. And
Right.
Ahmedabad being a city wherein we have more entrepreneurs, we have more business owners, we have more family-run businesses, it was very, very difficult to convince or to share with them what image and image management is all about. When I used to go to the CEOs and talk about all these things, they used to say everything is all right. Like, you know, even if we wear slip-ons to our office, we are still making a lot of business. We are still doing well. Why do we need to take care of our appearance, behavior, or communication? So they were very confident that things are working great and they are in their favor and they don't need anything. So to be very honest, it was very, very difficult to crack that mentality. But at the same time, ICBI did a great job by publishing the right articles and promoting us as image consultants in the newspapers. And that created some visibility of this concept and this industry in India. However, there was a point where I had to decide whether I go back to my job because things were not working the way they should, or I should stick on or hold on to being an image consultant. So there were two views, I can say. There were two perceptions that I had. Number one was that, okay, image management, image consulting, nobody in my city knows what it is all about. So there is absolutely no market. That was perception number one. Perception number two was, what is image consulting? What is image management? Nobody knows. So then the market is mine. Because nobody knows about it, this is a golden opportunity to be a pioneer, to share something that people don't know, to tell them what it can bring to them and their businesses, and take it from there. So I thought that it is a good way to look at it in the second manner and tap the market. And because Rakesh sir used to give all these business consulting sessions, once he said that it's important to create touch points. It's important to let people around you know what you do and how you do it.
Absolutely.
And that just stuck me and that stayed with me. And I made sure that everybody around me, my relatives, my friends, whether they give me business or not, but they should know what I am doing. And that is where I think it started to, roll in, and, we started to get referrals and things like that. So I think the market was there, the market is there, and the market will be there. So what's missing is the awareness. And as stalwarts, as ambassadors, as pioneers, it's our job to bring that awareness in the right way to the right audience.
Absolutely. And I think to a large extent, people are now aware of what image management is all about, as compared to what it used to be about 10, 11 years back. So people have become more familiar with the concept of image management and image consulting. Great. So you have lived abroad and you have stayed there for a good long years, and you had overseas clients. So what are the most in-demand topics as compared to the topics over here? So what kind of topics were you dealing with over there as compared to the topics that you deal with your clients over here? Is there any difference or they are just the same?
So the kinds of projects that I took were two types. The number one was one-on-one clients and the other was group trainings. So one-on-one clients, if I talk about, usually they were the Indian expats who were living in that country. So when I had Indian clients, more or less their needs, their wants, the breakthrough that they are looking for is almost similar. It's only the season change, I think, the climate and the weather over there, which was different, wherein my own knowledge also, because of that, got upgraded, and there was consulting related to the winter wear in a little more detail, which were given to the Indian clients for that matter. So one-on-one clients, almost the same. I had one or two of them who were not Indians. However, I have realized that though the location is different, the human needs are the same. They still root from, longing for belonging into a group or struggling with their self-image or body image. It all starts from there. And then finally, evolving to their own personal style. So it was always with one-on-one clients, it was always the same.
So usually they had this typical... Yes. So usually they had this typical concern of their body image, their confidence, their low self-esteem. So that is something which is commonly dealt by a typical image consultant. So that is why I think the expectation management was already very clear that this is what is something that I deal in, and probably that is why you got clients, based on that.
But they are not that open to accept it though. But then once it's done in the right way, and when we make them believe that we are on their side, they start to accept it.
True.
So because everything is new, as such, their appearance, if we talk about developed countries as compared to India, if we talk about appearance, if we talk about grooming, they're already there. So there is not a lot of scope to work on that, but there is something definitely underneath which is not coming inside out, that is where we as consultants, and that is where I worked for few clients, and that made a lot of difference to them.
True, absolutely. Perfect. So how have you evolved both personally and professionally by doing this image consulting program?
Ma'am, I think you should be the right person to say that, because you have seen me like a decade back in those classes, sitting in a corner and being quiet, and now you're...
you used to be very quiet. That is something, I always felt that you were a very introvert kind of a person. But it doesn't seem like so, now, because you are very changed and a very different individual now.
So I definitely, ma'am, though I am still introvert, it's not like that I open up very easily, but because of the credibility and the visibility that I have got and the responsibility that I have. So, professionally, I have been bestowed upon by leadership, through leadership roles. I've been given leadership roles in different organizations as an image consultant. So that itself is such a big achievement, because if I look at myself doing that job, or if I look at my qualification is Masters of Science in Life Sciences. So while I was giving my master's exam, I was thinking that maybe I'll be sitting in some laboratory, working with my test tubes, petri dishes, and my life is just going to be, limited to that desk and in the lab. And now if I see myself, the kind of evolution that has happened, wherein I'm touching lives through leadership roles, whether it's with a networking forum where I had like 70 members whom, who were entrepreneurs, and I was leading them as a president. And now, because of the pandemic, fortunately, I actually got to become the president of Ahmedabad chapter for IMPA. So that itself is such a big achievement. And when something happens professionally, it has a great impact on personal life as well.
True.
So if I can do that professionally, it creates a different environment within my family, with friends, with peers. Especially now I feel so much because of my daughter around. and it's really different. So I am still so blessed. I feel so blessed because of all the trainings that I've had, whether it's soft skills, image management, neuro-linguistic programming, anything that has happened to me till date. I feel it's so good for my family, for the for the upbringing of my child, because the tools, once they are there in your system, you keep on using them.
True.
So that's why personally also it has made a huge difference. Otherwise, as I said, I would be sitting in some laboratory, or maybe I would have been doing this 9 to 8 job in India, or otherwise it's fantastic. So I can explore so much. And now I feel that there was so much inside me which was to be explored. And I'm glad that I can do that bit by bit.
Absolutely. And I think the most important thing is that you are able to explore a lot of things about your own self.
Yes.
Which probably you don't realize till the time you actually touch upon certain areas of your life. And from within, there are a lot of things that you can experiment with. And that is something which is highly commendable, because there are not too many people who learn a lot about themselves. They try to learn about things around them. But knowing yourself is the biggest, eye-opening kind of a situation. And that is something which is, which definitely, I mean, people want to, and people should understand, because knowing yourself is like the first, pathway to success.
So true. And it is such an ongoing process, such an ongoing process. It cannot be just one thing. After 2 years, it might be something different. And it just gets refined. So yes, so true.
Absolutely. So tell me, what are the kind of assignments that you're undertaking, and has the pandemic really affected you in some way?
So the assignments are still the same. I love doing both. I love doing one-on-ones, and I do group trainings in corporates, retail segments, and educational institutes. So the projects are still the same, and I will continue with that. While the pandemic happened, I was not in India, I was in Munich. And at that time, yes, definitely for few days, for few weeks, it was like really tough to accept that this is going to be the new normal. We were just hoping things will get better, but it just got worse. So, but yes, we were stuck. So what was common, I think, for everyone was that there was a lot of self-realization that happened. There was a lot of, I took out the bucket list and saw that what are the things that I wanted to do, but I did not have time to do. And maybe this is the right time to start. So maybe sketching or dancing, or, I joined the Kathak class, online Kathak class over there. So there were so many things that were on the list which were pending. And that was one way to revive myself also. So that definitely pandemic in that sense made a lot of difference. I took up trainings, which were like 5 day long trainings, 8 hours each day, which I wouldn't have done because I had a 4-year-old toddler at that time. So then it was not possible only, but I could do it because the world got online. Yes. Everything happened online. So I think this was the time where I had the opportunity to upskill myself. And that was great, because as consultants, as trainers, we need to sharpen our axe. Otherwise, it's of no use. So I think that opportunity I got during the pandemic, and there was a transition where I then came back to India, and I got this opportunity to reconnect with all my clients. And I'm so glad that, because before I was leaving, they were all very apprehensive that no, online training, no, we'll wait, you come back and we'll do one-on-one coaching like this. So, but now everybody's open for online training.
Yes.
So all my clients who were there, who were a little skeptical about online trainings, now, because that's the new normal, everybody's open to that. And that gives, another realm of opportunities.
So you have been undertaking a lot of online one-on-one consulting sessions for your clients?
Yes. They are on.
Fantastic. So with increasing demand in image consulting and soft skills training, I mean, what do you think, what kind of scope is there in the image consulting and soft skills training space?
So I think because I have been to other countries, what I have realized is that because India is a developing country, there is a huge scope. Because the kind of curriculum that we have, image consulting and image management and in soft skills, it actually encompasses almost everything under that umbrella. So once we have our basics right, once we know our foundation is strong, we can build anything on it. So definitely the scope in a developing country is huge as compared to developed countries. So we can say that we are fortunate enough to be in this time in India wherein the need is there. And if we can tap the right audience, the right market, depending on the skill sets that we have and the passion that we have, the scope is huge. So there's definitely a lot of opportunity, but we need to have a keen eye and we need to be persistent and unstoppable to tap that.
Absolutely. And I totally agree that for the next few decades, image consulting is definitely going to be on the rise, because right now during pandemic, there is tremendous amount of competition, because, you know, there are more layoffs than there used to be, you know, at any point of time. And, you know, more and more competition is increasing. People are feeling that there is a need and a scope to become better, you know, than ever before. So that is why an image consultant and a soft skills trainer definitely becomes the go-to person, you know, I mean, during this time. Do you agree with me? Yeah. All right. So tell me what, I mean, I would like to ask you that why don't you share with us an interesting client experience of yours? I mean, if you've had any kind of an interesting story with any client, if you would like to share that with us, because I think most of the people who are here on this platform listening to us would like to understand and hear from you something interesting.
Sure. So there are many, actually, ma'am. I think the client that I make, whether it's individual or a corporate, retail or educational institute, it's always that we have to meet them so many times to understand their needs that we gradually build up a rapport where it becomes special. And I have been blessed with those kind of clients who have been loyal. So if it's a corporate or an educational institute, they have been loyal. Though I was not in India, they used to email and call and ask, and then I used to make sure that I am, you know, recommending the right consultants or fellow consultants to them, and not let work go out of the image management industry to some other trainers. So I've had great relationships, and you know, first assignments are always special. So while you know, I got this invitation of being live, I had to go through this memory lane of mine, and I was just checking what all has happened, and it was such a nice thought and journey to look back to where I have come, and it already gave me goosebumps. So I was just thinking, and this, when you ask me this question, there is the first, I would say, a retail segment assignment that I got. I would like to share about that. So this is a retail giant in our city. They have around 10 to 12 retail stores in Gujarat, and they're really big. So I just got an inquiry from them. I just got certified and I got an inquiry from them. And I wrote an email. We decided for an appointment. I went there. I told about what do I do. They said, okay, they'll revert back in few days. And in few days, they called me for another interview. They said, you have to meet a senior manager. I said, okay. So I met the senior manager. After 2 days, they said, you have to meet the owner. I said, okay, I'll meet the owner. And when I met the owner, ma'am, he was really strict. And looking at his stature and looking at my stature, I was so petite at that time also. And I used to look so young. And he thought that I'll not be able to pull it off. And he told me. And he started to ask questions about his brand. Now, fortunately, I did good homework on the brand. And he was, I think, taken aback that, wow, she knows something about our brand already. So I thought that those 5-10 minutes were like really not that good. And I thought that this is not going to come to me. And things were like that. And then after 2 days, again, I got a call and they said that you are on board and you have to give trainings. And these are the series of trainings that you have to give. And I was like, wow. Because if this brand comes on my portfolio, it definitely makes a lot of sense in the state of Gujarat. And I was so happy. I did a lot of hard work. I made sure that I'm putting the best foot forward, and I left no stones unturned. And the training happened. It was a 2-day training to start with. Towards the end of the second day, I was sitting with the HR manager. We were having tea during the break. And I just asked him that, from where did you get the contact and why did you select? And, all those series of interviews that I had. So we were just having a very candid chat. And then he said that I wanted to share this with you, that we had put this inquiry and there were around 5 different trainers that we had in mind, and we met them and we kind of considered their qualification and experience and everything. You did not have a lot of experience in this field, but you had experience in the pharma company though. And then I said, then what exactly made you select me? And then he said, the way you wrote that email, the way you were punctual, the way you had put the, the entire agenda of the training, the way you met, and the way impeccably you were dressed. He said everything just fell in place. And I did not know at that time. I was just doing what was being taught and I thought was right. I did not put the conscious effort, but it made me really, really think again that yes, you have to walk the talk. So if I teach email etiquette to somebody, I need to first do it myself.
So
and
first
that
impressions
is where,
matter.
yes, and that is where they said that, we did not have any second thoughts, and that's why you are here and you are giving trainings. And this is the client. This is the first client where I also ended up doing their uniform design consulting for the very first time. And they really loved it. So again, just because of the training also, they thought that she would be good in this. And then we had a conversation. They were really surprised that there is something called uniform design consulting also that can happen, because they had uniform for the staff. So that's why this particular client is like really, really close, because it was the first, and it was like, it was topped up with uniform design consulting also.
I think the best part about being an image consultant is that you are not just limited to trainings. Yes. You have so many things that you can engage yourself, to a corporate, because you have, so many skill sets. I mean, you can do individual image evaluation sessions. You can do group trainings. You can do, one-on-one with the senior most people over there. You can do uniform designing. You can do the junior most people there. I mean, in terms of training. So there are so many areas that, you can work around, and that is why there is so much scope and avenues for growth, as an image consultant. And you can probably, do either everything, or you can specialize in one thing. So I think this is something which attracts people to this profession, and that is why more and more people are becoming image consultants today, as compared to just a corporate trainer or a soft skills trainer.
Absolutely, ma'am. Absolutely. But I would also like to say that though people are attracted to this profession, it looks like really glamorous and good. However, I would like to compare it with like a swan swimming in water, where you feel that she is with poise and she's so calm, but actually under the water, she's actually paddling so fast. So definitely it comes with its hard work. There is absolutely no replacement to the hard work. And definitely ones who understand it definitely will make it big.
And they're already doing that, right?
Yes.
Just like you.
Thank you.
All right. So tell me, you spoke about balance. Now, how do you strike a balance between your personal life and professional life, owing to the fact that you have a 5-year-old baby at home? I mean, you take care of your joint family. You live in a joint family. Yes. You have your work to look after. You have IMPA to look after. You have your baby to look after. Then you have to take care of the entire family's needs also, being, the bahu of the family. So how exactly do you play so many roles, and how do you try to balance them out?
So to be very, very honest, it's not easy. It is not a cakewalk. It takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of thinking, proactiveness. And because my daughter is just 5 years old, I think she's just getting naughtier day by day. So still till date, if I open my laptop and sit for work, she'll jump around. and because of the lockdown and pandemic happening, they don't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I have my priorities very clear, ma'am. So when she is around, when it comes to her studies, I know what has to be done. So I think planning is something which is very, very important if one wants to achieve balance in life. So few hours are for her, and there is no discount on that. So that is one thing. Number two is support. Definitely the family support. And I have been blessed because the support that I have from my husband primarily, and then gradually from my in-laws, is immense. And I would like to credit that to the kind of work that I do. So they know that I am into trainings where I coach people, guide people, train people on certain aspects. They know that I'm into individual consultings where I make a difference in their lives. So they themselves are so proud about the kind of work that I am doing. So that once people around you know what your mission and vision in life is, they automatically try to support you. So I have been blessed in that way also, that even if I've had any breakdowns with help with respect to household or anything, they are always there. So that's number two. And number three is definitely persistence and communication, being verbal. So if there is a project and you want to be in that project, you have to enroll everybody around. It cannot be something that I decide on my own. I have taken it and I'll do it anyways, come what may. But if we take the team, I actually call it, teamwork. If I am verbal enough, if I tell them what I'm looking forward to, if I enroll everybody into what I'm trying to achieve, they will not give you support. They'll actually motivate you to do it.
Absolutely.
So that has been there. Plus, I have been very open, ma'am. I have been open to all the changes. Like, I've been to different countries, and the profession again is such wherein I can take my knowledge along with me. Even if I'm going to different cities or countries, I can take it with me. I can operate from there. Even if I can't, I come back and I can still start again.
True. I think that's the biggest USP. The plus point of being an image consultant is that you can start your practice anywhere.
Yes. True.
So who decides the menu in the house? You or your mother-in-law?
Oh my God. That's a tough question. That was well, it's always a joint decision because of the pandemic. It's always a joint decision, but otherwise it was always, one of us. So when I was in job, when I was doing my job, she was the one who used to decide. But now it's always a joint decision because I don't know, pandemic has also brought everybody closer, and now we know our likes and dislikes more. So, a lot of conversation goes over to know, but you don't like this. Let's not make this tonight and things like that. So, yes, but she's a sweetheart.
That's I think something which is very, very important if you want to have a happy life. Okay, great. So how is today's Nidhi different from what she was 10 years ago? Don't ask me this question. I want you to answer.
So, like I said, ma'am, I was like really naive. I did not know anything about fashion, about makeup. I was just sure that I used to dress appropriately for work. I just knew that, and I thought that I'm good at, communicating because I was into training. So I thought that I'm good with groups, and with that background I came. And as I told you, I did not know that it will work or not. I still was in double minds after doing the course, after doing certain projects. I was still in double minds that should I go ahead or not. And as I told you, if I wouldn't have been here, I would be in some laboratory or, selling some products or, working for somebody else. So definitely, I think my reach, my visibility, my credibility, my confidence, my risk-taking appetite, taking my company like a, one-woman army and, achieving success towards the end of it. Training like, more than 165 people in a room full of entrepreneurs is something which I would have never, ever dreamt of also, like, a decade back. So that's the kind of change, and I still feel firmly that there are miles to go before I sleep.
And that is my next question, that what is your vision for the next 5 years?
So for the next 5 years, I still feel that I'm going to do the same that I'm doing right now. Plus, I really, really want to bring in some innovation or creativity in what I'm already doing. So, I am in the process of making the blueprint for it, and definitely bring in some innovation. But something that I'm already loving doing is making a difference in people's life. Trust me, ma'am, when I get that message or a call that, listen, I was scared of public speaking and I did this presentation, it was great. I think there is no other feeling that can replace this feeling where you are the one who's responsible for the other person having a breakthrough. So it still gives me a high. And for the next 5 years, definitely given an opportunity, I'll do it maximum and make sure that the people who are associated with me also achieve success.
Fantastic. So one last question to you, Nidhi, that, what would be your message for those people who are planning to start something of their own, but they are still confused about what to do in life?
Particularly for image management?
Probably they're exploring image management or image consulting, but they don't know. I mean, if they want to start something of their own, I mean, there are not too many options available in any case. So what would be your message to them? I mean, what should they do?
So I think, the question that you asked me, ma'am, I think they have to ask themselves, the first question is, where do they see themselves after 5 years? They need to sit and, be very clear. Regardless of where they are right now, they need to think. And I think it's such a powerful process of visualization, wherein you see where you are after 5 years, where you see yourself after 10 years. So that has worked for me. I was very clear that even after 5 years, I am sure that I am giving equal time to all areas of my life, wherever it is required. I could really very clearly see it, and that's happening. So one really needs to be very, very clear on where they see themselves after 5 years, 10 years down the line, and then calculate backwards and then plan it in chunks that, okay, if I want to be my own boss, then I cannot start like 1 year before. I have to start right now. And if they are very clear that they want to be their own boss, and then they have to start, though businesses look very alluring, but actually it's the other way around. You have to give like not 8 hours in a day. At times you have to give like 20 hours in a day when you run a business. And that's also less at times. So if one is clear that they need to start something of their own and have to go in certain direction, as I said, there is no replacement for hard work. They have to be very sure that they have to do the hard work. They have to create touch points and then start from there. Nothing is going to come easy if they want to start something of their own.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you, because without hard work, I mean, if you expect that certain things will fall in your lap, fall in your, mental space accordingly, it is not going to happen, because business definitely requires a lot of hard work. It needs a lot of passion, your interest, your heart has to be there on, to get something that you've always desired. I mean, it's not an automatic process where, things fall in place by itself. So you definitely need to do a lot of hard work, and there is a lot of it's an involved process. And it's not going to happen if you only dream about it and not do anything about it. So absolutely true. I totally agree with you. And with this, we come to the end of our discussion. And this is the first time, Nidhi, I've heard you talking so much.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So
and I hope
amazing.
I did good justice to it.
Yes, absolutely. Totally. And I think from the time I know you, when I used to come for trainings and you used to sit in one corner, just by yourself, and, you had that do not disturb me kind of expression on your face. I think you have really changed from the time I have known you, and now you are a totally different person. It's like a contrast of what I used to see you as. So hats off to you for bringing this change in yourself, because this is definitely the need. Because if you are in an industry where you are meeting and interacting with people and, changing them for the good, you really need to break those barriers, personal barriers as well.
Right.
So, fantastic. All the very best to you. I wish you all the success, and you're doing a fantastic job even when it comes to your personal life, looking after your daughter and, prioritizing your situations accordingly. So all the very best to you, and I wish you all the success, and I hope that you have many more successful clients and assignments that you look forward to, and all the best.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for having me. It was a great, great pleasure. I'll always treasure this.
Surely. Okay, see you then. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this live session, and we'll stay tuned. And until then, this is Nidhi Shah and Suman Agarwal signing off.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.